So currently, as far as concerned, the situation looks stable. Macroeconomic stability is achieved, but there is a lot to be done. So for a lot depends on economic growth, but also on the amount of reserves we have. We currently have around $6 billion or slightly above that. But the end of this year, we should be at over $7 billion. End of 2026, over $9 billion. And end of 2027, we have to hit around $13 billion or slightly over that. So for that, starting in 2027, there is no other way but to go back to international bond market, or probably you can try green bonds, something, because from end of 2026 we're supposed to be at $9 billion, end of 2027 $13 billion. So there has to be a $4 billion increase in reserves. So where that money comes from is also the question, because I don't think, if you look at the options, because when I say this, usually people might think that I favor going back to bond markets. That's not the truth. I mean, if you look at exports, we have to invest in new sectors, because I don't think the existing sectors can bring about that amount of change within the next 18 months. I mean, the year 2027, from January to December, we have to increase reserves by $4 billion. So we don't have that much time. We just have around 18 months. So the other option is cutting down imports, but that is also not an option, because you cut down imports, 80% of imports are intermediate and capital goods. So that's one front. The third option would be bilaterals. Can we afford to borrow? Is India going to, I mean, at the height of the crisis, only India came forward. Many other countries did not, with $4 billion. So 2027, you need to increase reserves by $4 billion. 2028, you have to start paying $3 to $4 billion. 2029, 30, it's $4 billion almost a year. So you can't expect India to provide that amount of funding, or even other countries like Japan or the US or China. Nobody's going to just give us money like that. So that option is also gone. The fourth option is multilaterals, like the World Bank, ADB. So World Bank, ADB, since we are a middle income country, I don't think we will get that kind of funding. So the last option left is going back to the bond markets. So this is not a permanent solution, because we need to really grow, especially the tradable sectors. If not, the other thing is, if I may mention, to get to in 2027, beginning 2027, which is just slightly above 18 months, we need to get back into capital markets. You need to be at least B- to start borrowing at a proper stage. And B- itself is junk bonds. So the rates, if we do borrow below that, the interest rates are going to be very high. Unless you're going to grow real GDP by like 7-8% or even double digits, it is setting the stage for another default in the 2030s. So the only way is to get access to capital markets and then focus very hard on driving exports. So those are the solutions in my area. But not only expanding exports, but also if we get our fiscal side and our current account balances stable, we can bring down borrowing costs. Like I